everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files. Elliot here with a brand new movie review, and this time it's for the new Netflix original sci-fi film See You Yesterday, directed by Stefon Bristol. Now, before I get into the good, the bad, give you my overall score of this Netflix film, let you know if I think it's worth streaming, I want you all to do me a couple favors. Number one, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with our latest movie reviews like we did recently for John Wick 3. We talk about our favorite shows like Game of Thrones, so definitely check out those videos. We also react to the latest trailers, do unboxing videos for new releases, and do giveaways as well. So definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell. And also, do me a favor and comment below with your thoughts of this film. I never saw the trailer for this film. I only heard about it via Collider Video a couple weeks ago. So let me know what you all thought about this film and as well as this review. So with that being said, let's get into this movie review. So quick synopsis of this film, because again, I haven't seen a trailer, which I'm actually going to leave the trailer for this movie in the description below. But basically, it follows this young lady named CJ, played by Duncan-Smith, and it follows her best friend Sebastian, who are essentially science geniuses. They create a time machine. They try to enter an expo and take their lives to into a higher level of education with college and everything of that nature. But unfortunately, CJ's brother passes away due to an incident via police brutality, and CJ and Sebastian use their time machine to try to save her brother. So getting into this film here, starting off with the positives, I gotta start off with the lead, which is CJ, and also Sebastian. Those are our two leads in this film, and they do such a great job of having great chemistry. I love that this film is rated TVMA because, you know, again, these are teenage movies, and yes, it could have been kind of a little bit more PG, but I actually appreciate that they use kind of there's some, some language that goes down in the film, but I feel like it's organic to the environment. You know, we're in Brooklyn, you know, and we're in 2019. Kids kind of talk that way, so I love that they kind of took that more rated R version as far as how they interact with one another. But most importantly, like I said, the chemistry between CJ and Sebastian really carried the weight of not only the fun beats, the kind of the adventurous sci-fi aspect of the film, but also the emotional aspect. I thought both of the young actors did a really good job, and I'm really keeping an eye out for these two actors, especially CJ, played by Duncan-Smith. I like how Netflix is kind of building their bullpen with really young, good actors. You know, not all of them hit for me, but I really like the CJ character, or the character that she played. Again, Duncan-Smith is someone I want to keep an eye out, but I definitely want to start off with this video with saying that those two actors really kind of stood out and created a really good emotional journey for me, and I really like their characters. This really isn't a positive or negative, but I have to say, anytime you deal with time travel, I think of one particular movie that is one of my favorites of all time, and we get a cameo by somebody. I won't say their name, but if you look up the IMDb, you can see the cast, but I really enjoyed that cameo. I definitely have to throw that in there. But in regards to the actual time travel, yes, it's hard to kind of, build the science and build, the rules around time travel, and I think for the most part, the director and the writers did a good job of kind of explaining their world and their version of time travel, explaining the different quantum technology and gamma rays and all that stuff. I felt like I was watching Avengers for a minute. But anyway, I thought that for the most part, the rules were established pretty well. But in regards to that, I do appreciate the director kind of taking the two different themes of, number one, time travel and science fiction, and then mixing it in with the real world type of events. Obviously, we know, and it's been going on forever, but more particularly with social media and the news presence and things of that nature, the police brutality, and particularly with the black community, has been very highlighted in the last 5 to 7 years. And I really appreciate what Spike Lee, the producer of this film, is doing, where they're taking this sci-fi element and interacting it with a real-world event. And I thought for the most part that they handled both of those things pretty well in regards to handling the sci-fi aspect of the film, but also throwing in the emotional beats and the importance of a story like this and how it needs to be seen that, these, like I said, black people are dying at the hands of police officers. So I really like the mashup of these two storylines and the mashup of these two themes. The biggest thing that I really took away from this film was definitely the second and third act. That's where we really get, you establish the characters by then. We see where their emotions are going. We see where the story is going. So really that second act really is the big kind of shiny moment into the third act for me. Not that the first act was terrible. It took a minute to kind of get used to it, getting the rhythm, but that second and third act really were the highlights for me in this film. So kind of jumping into the negatives about this film, I had mentioned a little bit where I thought that the time travel elements worked for the most part, but I will say there were some, I don't want to say cheesy, but the way that they used the time travel looked like a after school special at times, and that's just, you know, a minor issue. But as far as the science behind it, some of the rules that they established weren't too ironed out as well as I thought, like, oh, if they did this and wouldn't that do that, but like I said, for the most part, they handled it well. There were some supporting characters that I really thought just were kind of pointless. There was this one character, I can't think of his name. I think his name was Jared in the movie. It was CJ's ex-boyfriend that kind of caused some ripple effects in the time travel aspect, which, going back to my positives, I like how this film addresses, okay, if you do this, you know, it can affect this. So more of a cause and effect. I really appreciate that about the film. But there were some supporting characters that I wasn't a big fan of. The first act, again, I had mentioned in my positive, the second and third act are really the meat of the story for me. But the first act was a little uneven because I felt like the tone was a little like, okay, we're going for a little bit of a comedy type of film, lighthearted movie. Then we mix it in this sci-fi. Then they mix in the whole police brutality. So it was like, it was kind of uneven in regards to tone. But again, once we get to that second and third act, that's where the film really kind of has a straight pulse and you kind of get an idea what the director's trying to do. But that first act was a little rough. But all in all, guys, you know, just wrapping up this review here, this is a Netflix film I would highly recommend. I love the originality of this idea. Again, we've seen time travel. We've seen, you know, I think this film is like with the sci-fi elements of like Kin of last year and also The Hate You Give last year, kind of mixing up those two with science fiction, with true life, real world events. And I thought for the most part, they did an original job, a really good job. So I definitely would recommend it. I'm giving this film a 3.3 out of 5. You know, we got a lot of big releases coming out this weekend, especially John Wick 3, which again, you can see my review on that film. But all in all, I would recommend you guys checking this out. It's a really entertaining film, but it has a message. And I think that for the most part, the director and also, like I said, the young talent in this film did a really good job, especially CJ and her brother, her real brother in this film, really did a good job of building chemistry and having those emotional beats. And again, but that third act, that was kind of emotional. But all in all, 3.3 out of 5. Check it out on Netflix. Let me know what you guys saw of this film if you got a chance to check it out. As I said up top, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you hit that notification to be able to stay up to date with our latest content, as well as follow us on all of our social media accounts. And particularly on Instagram, we're very active there. That's where we drop all the new movie news. We go live every Thursday on Instagram, so definitely join in if you can. But thank you guys for watching this review. Keep an eye out for some more videos coming up pretty soon. And again, we appreciate all the support you have given us on this channel, and we will see you on the next video.